To barge in, but your secretary wasn't around.
You're not barging in at all. No, Mary isn't due here for another half hour. Sit down, please.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Calling you both in here is something I felt as your friend and confidant and legal advisor I must do.
This isn't about the shredding of the deposition, is it?
No, Monica, it is not. Just that after a meeting Rick and I had yesterday, I felt three of us should get together and talk about your future with your son.
Lee, I didn't come here yesterday for legal advice.
No, you came as a friend, and I know that. To tell me about a crazy dream of claiming the woman you love.
Lee.
And whisking her off with her son to go to the wilds someplace to be a country doctor.
You said that?
It was a dream, a private dream that should have remained private.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm afraid I know you both too well. And I'm afraid this is a dream you both share. And it is a dream that you must let die. You must lay to rest. After we talked yesterday, Rick, I did some additional investigation. And I must now tell you both why it's almost impossible for the two of you ever to be together. Rick, when you came to me yesterday, I was pretty sure of all the legal ramifications surrounding legitimacy and paternity, but since it's not my field, I wanted to find out everything I could about it. I hoped I could find you a legal loophole, but I couldn't.
Lee, excuse me, I don't mean to interrupt, but what does legitimacy have to do with anything?
From what Lee said, just about everything.
Yes. See, Monica, since your child was conceived and born during a time when technically you were living with Alan, the child is considered to be his.
The child belongs to Rick.
No, not under the law. Not even if we can prove that Rick is the child's father. You see, the only tests that the court will accept today regarding paternity are exclusive tests. In other words, you can prove that somebody isn't the father. Look, you might be able to prove that Alan isn't the father, but you could never prove that Rick is. Alan Jr., under the law, is the legitimate child of you and Alan. And that child's rights to legitimacy supersede the natural father's rights to claim him. Now, it may seem unfair, dear, but see, that law was created to keep a parent from disclaiming a child out of anger or revenge toward the child or the child's mother.
I really don't know why I have to listen to this.
Well, you have to, Monica, because you have got to stop hoping that someday you can come to Rick with your son. Because you can't, and he must stop hoping that too. Look, aside from your son having to bear the stigma of illegitimacy if Rick tried to claim him, you'd be hurting an awful lot of other people in the process, people like Leslie. And Alan, too.
So what you're telling us, or rather telling me, is that I'm going to have to spend the rest of my life paying for one night of love with Rick.
Well, Monica, you could leave him, you could leave Alan, but you'd always have to share custody of the child with him. In fact, under the circumstances, I should imagine he could gain sole custody. He could claim you deceived him because you tried to get your hand on Edgar Quatermain's trust fund. Monica, I'm sorry, but I felt I had to tell you this.
I think you said it very well yesterday when you said Alan was holding all the cards.
And there's one other thing, Monica. Please, dear. I can never represent you if Tracy tries to take you to court because of the privileged information in your deposition. And you see, I couldn't walk into a courtroom knowing that that child is not Alan's son.
To our future. A future that was never meant to be.
Rick, please don't.
Don't tell me I'm being melodramatic.
You are.
But what would you like? Standing on top of the world, shouting because I found out that my son belongs to someone else, that he's going to grow up calling somebody else Dad.
You have known it all along, Rick. We both have.
I'm sorry I went to Seeley yesterday, and I'm sorry that I told him about my dream. And I am, surest to God, sorry that he told you.
I'm not. He was right. It's been my dream, too.
Monica, I should be raising my own son. I should be telling him what life is all about. I should play ball with him in the backyard. Show him what it's like for a man to love a woman.
Rick, don't do this, please.
Show him parents that can love each other.
I will show him love. Rick, I will.
Do you have any idea just how I feel knowing that my son belongs to somebody else?
Don't put it, just don't put it that way.
Alan legally owns my son. That is what Lee has been trying to tell us. What's all this garbage about civil rights, equal rights? What happens to my rights? Monica, I don't have a right to ask you to leave Alan and come away with me, do I? And Alan's not gonna let you take Alan Jr. away, is he? And you wouldn't leave Alan unless the baby came with you, would you?
Good morning.
Amy, how are you?
Terrific as usual.
Is there something I can help you with?
No, actually, I just have some blood type cards to file here.
Okay. Listen, I could use a coffee break. You wouldn't mind watching the store for me for 10 minutes, would
Go
you?
right ahead.
Thank you.
There you are, right on time.
I told you I'd be
You
here.
certainly did.
We're gonna have to hurry. The technician just went out for some coffee, but you never know who might walk in.
Okay, I really would like to relish every second, though, you know.
If anyone comes in, we're looking for your file.
Okay, whatever you want. Just let me look.
Quartermain Jr.
Okay, I don't know if my heart can stand it. Okay, the baby is... typo. Okay, now we need my dear sister-in-law and my dear brother.
Okay. Here is Monica's.
Okay, Monica. Quartermain is... what? Typo. She's also typo. Well, that's to be expected, I suppose. Okay, now my brother, please.
Here is Alan.
Alan Quartermain. Typo.
Really?
He can't be typo. What do you mean typo? I can't believe that Alan is typo. Well, Rick could also be typo. And if Rick was typo, then he would be the father, too. I know it works that way. Look up Rick for me, will you?
Okay. Here, Rick Weber should be right about...
Amy, please hurry.
Okay, Tracy, I'm hurrying. Calm down.
Okay, I'm sorry. Rick is... he's type B. He can't be type B. Alan is type O, the baby is type O, Monica is type O, and Rick is type B. This doesn't prove a thing.
Gee, Tracy, I'm sorry.
You're sorry. I am beyond words.
I guess you must be wrong about Rick.
I'm not wrong about Rick. There's a mistake somewhere.
We could check the files again.
I don't believe those files. Those files are rubbish, and I'll bet my brother somehow, some way tampered with them.
Oh, Tracy, you don't believe that.
I don't believe that? You bet I believe it. My brother is so conniving, and he wants to control that trust fund so badly that he would do anything. Anything. Thank you, Amy, for nothing.
You're welcome. Blood type B. I just finished my job.
All right. Enough with the smart remarks. I want to talk about what kind of fooling around you did with the hospital files.
Whatever are you talking about?
Don't play innocent with me, Alan. You know whatever I'm talking about. I'm talking about your son's files and your files and Monica's files and Rick Weber's files. I looked at them all, I compared the blood types, and guess what? Miracle of miracles. They don't prove a thing.
You went to the hospital files to check on our blood types?
Do you deny that you modified those hospital files just a little bit?
Categorically.
Well, I really do underestimate you.
And I underestimate you, Tracy, because I'll tell you, if I could prove that you did what you actually just said just now, I'd make sure that you got fired.
Okay, fine, try it.
No, it isn't worth the trouble. You know, I always thought that you would be a much better loser than this.
I haven't lost yet.
Face it, Tracy, you must really take me for some kind of a fool. Do you really think that if Monica was capable of the deceit that you have been claiming that she is, that I wouldn't have divorced her months ago? I mean, come on, Tracy, you must think more of me than that. Anyway, all that aside, I don't hold any grudges.
I'm touched.
And I really hope you're going to come to the christening. It's going to be quite an affair.
I'm sure.
That's the day my son will officially become Alan Quartermain, Jr. What a marvelous thought.
Gee, I wouldn't want to miss out on that.
Good. Which florist do you think I ought to use?
Well, I guess there's nothing much more to say. Waiter.
Here, can I get you something else?
Just check, please. Thank you.
Okay. I have something more to say. I would like a little compassion, a little understanding.
Sorry, I'm fresh out of that, ma'am.
Don't be glib. Where do you think you can just have the corner on the market of being bitter? What about me, Rick?
I think you gave up that right.
When? When did I give it up? When I went back to Alan? After we had planned a whole future together?
When you didn't come to me and tell me the truth about the baby.
Rick, you had gone back to Leslie. You were living with Leslie.
You should have told me the truth, Monica.
And you should have told me the truth the night we made love. You should have told me that you were going to have your future with Leslie, not me.
How can you say that?
Because it's the truth.
It wasn't true then. How many times did I beg you to tell me the truth about the baby?
I guess I really have known all along that Alan would never, ever, he'd never give us our son. I love you, Rick. I will always love you in a way I will never love any other man. But like Lee said, we have to face facts, don't we? And I have to face Alan. I have to face Alan every single day with the fear and with the guilt. Every time I look at him.
Sorry.
Don't pity me, Rick. And please don't resent me.
Well, at least I'll be my son's godfather.
How are we gonna get through that?
I don't know. Well, we will.
I'd like you to get in touch with my housekeeper, Mrs. Fields, and set up the whole thing. It's 2 days, I'll be fine. Thank you. Flowers here. And Rick and Monica here. This is where the roof is going to cave in. Right here. Come in.
Hi, Dr. Quartermain. I almost thought you weren't here. You know, I knocked twice.
I'm sorry, Emma. I was concentrating on something rather important.
About Tracy, I'll bet.
She told me what happened.
Dr. Quartermain, you should have seen the look on her face when she saw those blood type cards. She almost went through the roof.
I saw it later, and that was enough. Thank you again, Amy. I honestly don't know how I'm ever going to be able to repay you for all this.
Oh, don't be silly. I was thrilled to do that to Tracy. Well, you look busy, so I'll be going.
Thank you. I'll see you soon.
Oh, Dr. Quartermain, I did one more thing. I did something that I knew you would want me to do. I filled out a new card with the baby's real blood type, you know, just in case he ever needs another transfusion. So it says B, not O. I knew you'd want me to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be just an absolutely wonderful room for the baby.
I was hoping to show it to you the day of the christening.
I'm glad you understand why I can't be there.
I do, but you see, as long as you turned us down as godmother, I was really hoping you were going to make it to the party.
I just felt I really had to get away, Alan. I think it's time for me to figure out where I'm going with the rest of my life.
You have a good trip.
I will.
You deserve happiness, Leslie. And if I've never told you before, you're a very special person, and I'm very fond of you.
Thank you. Come in.
Hello. Hello, Rick. Monica, what a pleasant surprise.
Well, you left a message that you were here.
Yes, well, I was just showing Leslie the setup for the christening.
Oh, well, that's become a passion with Alan.
I can understand that.
I'm only sorry Leslie isn't going to be able to make it.
Oh, you won't be able to be there?
No, I'm going on vacation.
Sorry, we'll miss you.
Thank you.
Listen, I've spoken to the caterer and to the florist. Would you like to come down to the office? I'll tell you how we've worked things out.
That's fine. That's fine. Would you excuse us?
So long, you two.
Sure. See you around.
You're being very silent today.
You're going away.
Yeah, I figure I better try and understand what it is I want out of life. Isn't that what you said when you ran away?
You running away?
Maybe I am, yes.
Are you running from me?
I think I'm running from having to watch you being a godfather to your own son at the christening.
Laura know you're going?
No, I only decided this morning after I had left there. I stopped at their apartment and I watched her with Scotty, and I realized that they have their own life and they can be there to help each other.
What about Amy?
Oh, Amy doesn't need me. Amy doesn't even know I'm around half the time. She's so involved with her nursing classes, and Mrs. Grant's going to stay while I'm gone.
You're not feeling sorry for yourself, are you?
I'm trying to face facts right now, Rick, and realize that this is a very good time for me to go away because nobody needs me right now. Or wants me. That can be a very lonely feeling.